I've been watching, and I know you've been watching too. So come peep this. Hi, Peep fam. Welcome to Come Peep This. I'm Miss Series, and I do not miss a series. I review everything that I watch. That includes Married at First Sight, all the way to shows like The Billions and The Shy. I have my master's in psychology, so we're going to use some psychology, some common sense, and a whole lot of giggles along the way. Let's get it. Today we'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 2. And it was a mess. Miguel and Lindy. So it's the morning of their wedding, and Miguel's talking to his friends. He's telling them, like, hey, in past relationships, he's usually the one that's more invested. So I just hope that Lindy can be expressive and affirm Miguel's feelings, because we all know that he is super sensitive. And shout out to one of my P fam leaving a comment saying how Lindy's friends in the first episode said, hey, Lindy can be crazy. And Lindy even described herself as being crazy at times. So I don't know. We're going to look out for her, because again, in this episode, while Lindy's, picking out her dress and shopping, her friends, they sitting down there saying, hey, Lindy is the type of person that often spins out of control. So I'm just waiting to see, because Lindy comes off to me very sweet, almost as a little girl. So just like a little girl, so maybe she throws tantrums. I don't know, but that's been a common thing coming out of her friend's mouth, even her own mouth. So we shall see, because I don't know if Miguel will be able to handle that. I don't really feel like anyone should handle an adult that spins out of control. Like, you should get that adjusted on your own time. So, but we shall see. We shall see. So Miguel, he's they showed a picture of him, a little clip of him laying down in bed while he's doing his, video cam, the self cam that they give him. And he's just looking scrumptious. He's just looking like a whole snack to me. So Lindy friends come over to get her ready, and Lindy friends all look the same, including her. They were giving me very much Children of the Corn. They all had the same face, even the guy there. And that wasn't her brother, it was just her friend. All of them look the same. We talking about Nate and Stasha twins. Are we looking at quintuplets? Like they were favoring hard in the face. I said, okay. Giving me little Children of the Corn, but to each their own. To each their own. She was talking to her friend. She said, I haven't been a girlfriend in such a long time, so now I'm going to be a whole wife. Lindy, that's a question you should have asked yourself and worked through before you even clicked to apply. She hasn't been a girlfriend in years, according to her. But now she's going to step up and be a whole wife. So we shall see. She gives me very much, woefully inexperienced. She's woefully inexperienced to me. Growing up, the friends said that they wasn't allowed to hug or hold hands, like it was forbidden. So I just don't want Lindy to come off as frigid to Miguel, who's so affectionate, who describes himself as even clingy. I don't want, her to come off as standoffish or uninterested in him. I don't want that to happen. When she's not those things. She's just inexperienced. She just doesn't know. She's stepping out of the cave for the first time. So we shall see. Miguel is saying how he wants somebody to play D&D with him. Dungeons and Dragons with him. Miguel, Dungeons and Dragons cannot be your only personality trait. Cannot, suffice as the catalyst for your whole personality. Dungeons and Dragons. Like, leave that board game alone for a minute and think about walking down the aisle to your wife in just like a few minutes. Stop with the Dungeons and Dragons, please. Goodness. So Lindy's dad did not support the process. So he did not come to the wedding, which it didn't surprise me. It's not surprising to me, because he probably wanted to thoroughly vet her husband. He probably wanted to really sit down and question and wanted Miguel to ask for the permission and all that. In a closed off religious community like that, the father has the final say on a lot of stuff. Even when their children reach adulthood, the father is still the go-to. So her father not showing up did not surprise me. So Miguel is at the aisle, and Lindy's bridesmaids see him, and they start going like, okay. Because he's a cutie pie, Miguel, like I said in the first video. Miguel is so cute to me. So Lindy comes down the aisle, and they immediately start hugging and holding each other, for a moment. And I thought that was so sweet. Like, they wanted to be in each other's space immediately, which is always a good sign. So the officiator is giving the reading, he's telling them, the introductions that the friends wrote. And I did not know that Lindy was a doctor. I totally skipped that part. I did not know that. So she's a physical therapist. She has her PhD. And Miguel also has his PhD, which is, awesome. So they both have that cognitive level of development where they're, beyond the average, Because I think his PhD is in neuroscience. So I'm like, okay, so they can have some cerebral conversations here. I'm like, okay, they can get into it like they get into it. Miguel's friend wrote him an extra sweet introduction. I really thought that it was really nice how they said that he's like a huge supporter and he can make bad days good and good days great. And I said, okay, that makes, that's hopeful. That's a really positive person. Shout out to Nate friends. This is how you do that. This is how you write, your introduction for your friend. This is being supportive. AKA knowing the assignment. So Miguel's friends definitely knew the assignment. So they exchanged vows and they kiss and they go chat for the first time. I think they were attracted to each other immediately. But as they start talking, what comes out of Miguel's mouth? Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, that's the first thing. He didn't ask her any questions about herself. He just started talking about Dungeons and Dragons and showing her a dice, a toy. I said, come on, Miguel. Stop it already. Hey, I play spades and I'm almost undefeated in Uno. But I don't go around talking about it all the time. Stop it, Miguel. But Lindy thought it was cute. She said, oh, I'm glad that he has, like a little nerdy hobby. So she was into it, And Lindy was absolutely so giddy. She was so excited and pleased with Miguel. And surprisingly, Miguel seemed a little reserved. He wasn't as expressive as I thought he would be, since he seems like, a hopeless romantic, but he was really holding back. She was saying how attracted she was to him. We barely heard anything from Miguel, even though I do think that he is attracted to her, but I was like, ooh, they switched it up on me. I thought she was going to be the more reserved one, but no, Miguel wasn't saying much. And I hope he's not one of those guys, ladies, you can attest to this. I hope he's not one of those guys that's only really, really into the girl if the girl's not into him. I hope he's not one of those. So we shall see how they play out. And tell me what y'all think about that in the comments. It's that type. And I hope Miguel is not that type. Ooh. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell a friend to subscribe. We're just getting started and I appreciate all my day ones for sure. Get in those comments and I always reply to my P fam.